if it was a car, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the thing. It's really hard to determine that. So you just want to take all the precautions. They do have vehicle inspections that happen, you know, like before you get on base or anything like that. But so those vehicle inspections, if they find that, and they probably alert immediately. And it'd be a whole fiasco.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't know from far away whether they have an IED or not if it's in a car like that.
Are we gonna do like a mock this year?
Mock what?
A mock vehicle inspection.
Oh.
I'm actually not sure about that.
No, I'm not sure either. I don't know about LLAB 9. I think that's another EST, but I'm not really sure what we're doing.
I know that we're doing mock.
Okay, mock is fine.
Okay.
It's not, to answer your question, it's not within the scope of the new objectives for this year. So we're not required to cover it, but it may not be covered.
Alright. Do you have any more questions about IED UXO before we start the scenario? No? Okay, so I have hidden a IED yonder, and so you as a team will need to work together to use the C.A.G.E method and the 5 C's to make the area safe.
Any questions before we start? Or clarification on anything? Yes.
Are we just gonna be simulating for like broken arms and all that
Yeah,
stuff?
so just walk us through what you would do verbally.
Yeah, we'll just be asking you questions on the way, but essentially you'll just be bounding together as a team. Stay 6 feet apart, of course, and like Cadet Desmarais said, we'll be moving this way.
Alright.
And just kind of go through the
leader.
You don't have to have a leader because we're not doing formation and stuff. Just mainly just kind of walk you through the steps of handling possible encountered IEDs. So you can just stay 6 feet apart. I mean, if you wanted to practice your bounding, you can, but we're on a limited time schedule.
so go ahead and move that way towards the grass over there.
And when you see something, let your team know.
There's definitely something plastic over there.
Oh yeah, I see it. Did all your team hear you go through this?
There's something plastic over there.
Yeah. Right in the middle, between the trees, there's a plastic, unidentified object. Davis, why don't you, and inspect it.
Right. What do you have to make sure that you're doing when you're confirming it?
Not touching it.
Yeah, so also, if you can tell that it's an IED from this far away, there's no need to get closer.
Okay.
All right.
So what's the first C?
Confirm.
Confirm. Okay.
Right.
Great.
You did that. What are you going to do now?
Clear. So no one is in the general vicinity of it.
Okay, so with the clear, the way you just did that, we want to be loud and we want to be abrupt with the situation, right? So when you want to know, we want to let everyone know in the area, because it's a 360 perimeter kind of thing, right? So we want to let everyone know in the area and be loud with the way that you're clearing the area, right? Everybody, there's an IED over there. You know, just be loud and be vocal with the way that you're saying it, so that everybody in the area, because this is pertaining to the other side over there too, will hear you.
Alright, so there's an IED. Everyone stay at least 20 feet back. What's the third C again?
Call in and check.
All in.
Okay.
Do that. I'll pull out my radio. I'll get the 9 line.
Do you want us to run through like an actual 9 line? Or
No, it's okay. You can do that later with Cadet Boone. But what is an important thing to make sure you do before calling in your 9 line and before calling out your radio?
Well, also clearing the area of other enemy, possible enemy trigger.
Right. Right. So do you remember the measurements that you want to kind of go by, Pitman?
Since we're calling from a hand radio, we're
Yes.
going to move back 8 meters at least.
Yeah, so you want to move back at least 8 meters. This here, it's a fairly small IED, but we're sold like 50 feet, 50 meters, 50 feet,
50 feet.
50 feet.
50 meters, right?
Should be 50 meters.
50
Yeah,
meters.
about 50 meters for this object. That's the evacuation distance. The minimum might be smaller, but of course, you always want to evacuate farther just to be safe.
So that'd be like all the way over to those trees.
Right.
Pretty much.
If it's a like a metal container, shrapnel can fly really far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, clearing the area. So you have 5 meters, 25 meters,
50 meters.
200, and then the sky. Yeah, so you're just gonna clear the area to make sure, and make sure you do it 360 degrees as well. All right.
Everybody here?
Sorry.
Yes.
All right. So you called it in. You cleared the area. What are you gonna do now?
Cordon. So we'll like.
Speak a little bit louder, David.
So we would like string up a barrier around it. Should the barrier be at that minimum distance? It's like, okay, so we would, that's a lot of rope, but we would get some rope and string that all the way around, and I guess that would kind of like encompass these buildings. We would have to clear those too.
Can everyone hear Cadet Davis?
Barely.
So we would have to clear that building because it's like in the blast radius, and then we would have to rope it off all the way around and make sure that everything roped off is still clear.
Does anybody have any questions about that? About cordon? Yes.
So if you have to evacuate the building, right?
Correct.
Do you have also then you have also to close every like door of the building and just make sure that the rope or whatever it's supposed to be away. What you
Yeah,
supposed to
so-
be away from the building would be part of it too.
Yes.
Yes. So you'd want to make sure that no one enters the building as well. So yeah, making sure that you close the doors, that you have someone on the other side of the building for this scenario, say on the other side of the building, to make sure that no one enters the building because of the safety hazard here.
Good. So yeah, so people first, evacuate the people first and then secure the building.
Okay. And
Last one for control, we would like station ourselves. Since it's such a big area, we'd probably pick like main entrance ways like the road and these pathways, and make sure no one else gets in while someone arrives to take care of it.
right. So Cadet Davis, that was really good. Also, what you said about getting kind of like an ECP, an entry control point, where people are likely to be coming from. So you're basically with control, you're just controlling the area, controlling your personnel so that no one enters and that safe distance is kept before EOD arrives or the first responders arrive to help manage the IED. And they would probably be entering through an entry control point, so you'd want to be setting that up as well. Yeah,
So was that all 5?
yeah, that's all fine. Any questions about anything?